Over her decades-long career, Madonna has reinvented herself countless times. Material girl, sexual provocateur, mother, philanthropist, she's done it all and made millions along the way.
I'm constantly looking for new ideas to inform what I do.
She's inspired generations of pop stars, but her journey to the top has also been fraught with legal challenges, including a pair of high-profile marriages and divorces that cost the material girl millions.
Guy Ritchie walked away with more than $90 million in cash and property.
Along with high-profile divorces were controversial adoptions.
The legal challenges were significant, and it was a PR nightmare.
On Fortune Fights, husband and wife media experts and attorneys Danielle and Andy Mayoras explore the lives and legal battles of Hollywood's biggest stars. This episode looks at the evolution of Madonna from pop superstar to global humanitarian, and the legal struggles that threatened the fortune she earned and the life she built. Madonna's rise to superstardom was fueled by a legendary knack for reinvention. She has gone from singing and dancing and inspiring a generation of Madonna wannabes to having a brood of 6 children and creating a multi-million-dollar children's charity, while still performing all over the world. Media experts and attorneys Danielle and Andy Mayoras dive into the legal fortune fights the material girl has faced throughout her stratospherically successful career.
Before she was a single monikered Madonna, she was Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone, born in 1958 in Bay City, Michigan, the eldest of 6 children.
After Madonna's mother died, her father remarried, and he and his wife Joan moved the family to Rochester Hills, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. There they raised the family in a strict Catholic household.
Madonna took piano lessons before falling in love with dance. She took tap, jazz, and ballet classes, and she was so talented that she earned a scholarship to the University of Michigan to study dance.
Madonna stood out in Ann Arbor, but after 2 years of college, she decided to move to the big city. And in 1978, with $35 in her pocket, she headed to New York, hoping to make it as a professional dancer.
In New York City, Madonna had a hustle. She had to work odd jobs in order to pay her rent. So she took jobs waitressing, posing nude for art classes, and in addition to her rent, she also needed to make money to pay for dance classes with the legendary dancer Martha Graham. And her time in New York wasn't easy. While she was there, she was held at gunpoint once, and her apartment was broken into 3 times.
But she persevered and kept trying to make it in the city.
Madonna was performing as much as she could in New York City, both dancing and with some singing as well. When her vocals started to gather more attention than her dance moves, she really gave it a go and joined a couple of bands. Then she quit that and teamed up with her ex-boyfriend to write and record songs.
In 1982, the song Everybody made its way into the hands of DJ and producer Mark Kamens, who popped the cassette in one night at New York City hotspot Danceteria. He really liked it, and so he helped Madonna produce an improved version and then submitted it to Sire Records.
They liked it and signed her to the label the same year. And in 1983, 5 years after she'd moved to the city, her self-titled debut album came out.
Madonna's debut album was a huge success. It reached number 8 on the Billboard charts with 2 top 10 singles. It was a sign of great things to come for the pop star.
There were only 8 tracks on the record, but 5 became instant classics. Lucky Star, Borderline, Holiday, Burning Up, and Everybody.
When she first came out, it wasn't this quiet rise to fame or anything like that. Like, Madonna was almost immediately Madonna.
When it comes to celebrities who are known by one name, Madonna, Cher, Sting, there are certain advantages to it because everybody knows who you're talking about. She has such a force of personality that she's able to pull it off.
What do you hope will happen, not only in 1984, but for the rest of your professional life? What are your dreams? What's left?
To rule the world.
Madonna was ruling the world when her debut album sold 1 million copies by August 1984 and went platinum, bringing in $15 million for the pop star. A few months after that, her follow-up record was an even bigger success, earning her $31 million and spawning the hits Material Girl, Dress You Up, and the title track, Like a Virgin.
The album sold over 21 million copies around the world to earn its diamond certification.
The single Material Girl led to a new nickname for the ascending pop queen, and in 1985, to a relationship with hip young actor and Hollywood bad boy, Sean Penn.
Sean Penn visited the set of Madonna's music video Material Girl. By then, she was already a massive star.
Penn was a rising star, just a few years off his 1982 starring role as surfer stoner Jeff Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He and Madonna hit it off.
Things heated up pretty quickly, but her career came first.
Between the massive sales of her record and a standout performance at the MTV Video Music Awards in the fall of 1984, Madonna was already a superstar.
Her performance of her title track, Like a Virgin, at the MTV Video Music Awards has gone down in history as one of the most popular and memorable performances of all time.
Whatever kind of sanctity pop music had, she was here to disrupt it, she was here to put her own fingerprint on it, she was here to take it and make it hers.
The US tour that followed her performance was a massive success, netting her $5 million. Everyone wanted to see Madonna in person.
Madonna's first tour, called the Virgin Tour, kicked off in April of 1985, and America ate it up. The tour made more than $5 million in about 2 months, which would be about $12 million today. Not bad for a girl from the Detroit suburbs.
Not only was her tour a great success, but her relationship with Penn was going to the next level.
Things moved fast for Penn and Madonna, and by mid-August, wedding bells were ringing.
Just 6 months after meeting, Sean and Madonna got married on August 16, 1985. It was Madonna's 27th birthday and the day before Sean's 25th birthday.
With Andy Warhol, Carol Kane, and Christopher Walken in attendance, they tied the knot at a $6.5 million clifftop mansion in Malibu in front of 200 guests. There were also some uninvited guests, and Sean Penn left a message in the sand for them.
There were 6 helicopters hovering overhead, disrupting the ceremony with all their noise, and written in the sand was, "F off."
Hardly the romantic start to their marriage they may have hoped for.
During the first year of their marriage, Madonna and Sean appeared blissfully in love. Her career was skyrocketing. She had earned over $50 million for her first 2 albums, and Penn was working hard in movies.
In 1985, Madonna found critical success in her film role in Desperately Seeking Susan.
In 1986, Madonna earned more success and $32 million more with the release of her 3rd album, True Blue, which included the hit Papa Don't Preach. In the liner notes, Madonna called her husband the coolest guy in the universe. They were so in love, they decided to work together.
In 1986, Madonna and Sean starred in the movie Shanghai Surprise. The real surprise about this movie was how horrible it was. One critic even called it flop suey.
After the flop, the wedding bliss began to evaporate.
Not all is well in their marriage. It's actually quite tumultuous, and perhaps even more tumultuous than anyone cared to admit.
Penn had several documented instances of outbursts against paparazzi, film extras, and one of Madonna's friends.
Penn was put on probation for his alleged attack of songwriter David Walensky after he embraced Madonna at a nightclub. Penn then violated his probation twice. First, when he attacked a film extra for snapping photos of him, and second, when he was charged with reckless driving. These violations landed him in jail for 33 days. There were even rumors of abusive incidents in their marriage, with Madonna the victim of his vicious temper.
Madonna has since denounced any claims of abuse during the relationship, stating that while their relationship was volatile, it never became physical.
Still, it wasn't long before Penn's volatility became too much for Madonna.
In December of 1987, just 27 months after being married, Madonna filed for divorce. But just a few weeks later after filing, she withdrew her petition.
It's not unusual to see people file, dismiss, and then refile divorce proceedings.
People change their mind, relationships change, so it's not that this was totally out of the ordinary. On the other hand, it is a pretty significant legal move to file for divorce. Sometimes when people file for divorce, they do it as a strategic move, just hoping that their spouse is going to change their behavior.
Throughout 1988, the turmoil in the marriage continued, so much so that tabloids labeled Madonna and Sean the Poison Penns. It all came to a head in December 1988 at the couple's Malibu estate.
According to reports, a drunken Sean Penn allegedly roughed up Madonna and terrorized her for hours. Police were called to the house, and later Madonna filed a domestic assault claim.
But Madonna withdrew the claim just days later. Instead, she filed for divorce, and this time it would stick.
She had been touring and earning millions, and by then, even though Penn had a series of hit movies, he was more famous for his outbursts than for his movie career.
In January of 1989, Madonna cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. At 30, she was worth some $100 million, a portion of which Penn could have claimed for himself. Thankfully, she had taken steps to protect her assets.
Madonna reportedly earned $30 million a year during their marriage. And while Penn earned a respectable $5 million, there did not end up being a big fight because the prenup specified that they each got out of the marriage what they brought into it and what they earned.
The relationship that started with a roar ended with a whimper, and Madonna was ready to put it all behind her. And she did that with a bang, releasing the mega hit Like a Prayer just 2 months after filing for divorce. The single debuted at #1 and inspired a 1-year advertising contract with Pepsi. When the music video was released, it was a major reinvention for the Material Girl. But the video's religious imagery, including burning crosses and stigmata, sparked intense controversy.
Everything gets flipped on its head because the imagery that she's portraying in this video is pretty harsh. It's kind of, it's provocative to say the least.
The video was censored by the Vatican and led to the cancellation of her lucrative Pepsi contract. But this was typical Madonna. Madonna wasn't scared of controversy or ruffling feathers, and she certainly knew that this was going to happen with the video.
The international controversy didn't slow her down and may have even boosted Madonna's profile. In 1990, a year after Like a Prayer, she starred alongside Al Pacino and then boyfriend Warren Beatty in the hit film Dick Tracy. She also released another monster hit song, Vogue.
When Vogue dropped, she was at the top of her career and reinventing herself again with a streamlined new look and edgy new dance style from the New York City underground dance scene.
Madonna the provocateur charged into the 1990s with Warren Beatty on her arm and her career at a peak.
Her Blonde Ambition tour took the concert to an entirely new level. With its combination of sexuality and spectacle, the tour grossed over $60 million.
In 1990, Forbes declared Madonna the top-earning female entertainer of the year, noting that since 1986, she'd earned at least $125 million. 2 years later, at just 33 years old, she took her first step to becoming a multimedia mogul, signing a massive $60 million deal with Time Warner and forming her own company, which she called Maverick.
Madonna said the deal would give her more creative control over her albums, films, and books. The fact is, she was Madonna, she was a big hit, and she could dictate terms to Time Warner to come out ahead.
Madonna's first projects out of the gate under the Maverick label were the sexually explicit coffee table book Sex and the album Erotica. Both were critically panned, but Madonna fans loved it.
Erotica racked up $6 million in sales, and this limited edition book with only 1.5 million copies in print sold out within days, and to date, is still one of the most in-demand, out-of-date publications of all time.
In 1993, Madonna was able to take a bow as one of the richest women in showbiz, with a personal fortune estimated at $100 million.
Madonna was able to put this wealth to good use. She bought 6 adjoining apartments in Manhattan and combined them into one, and bought 2 different $5 million mansions, one in Miami and one in the Hollywood Hills.
Collecting and selling property became a bit of a pastime for Madonna, and after she purchased the property, she would often hire her brother Christopher to decorate the home.
Madonna enjoyed more wealth and success than most people could ever dream of. She was able to live wherever she wanted, surrounded by her beautiful art collection, which was eventually valued at more than $100 million, and included works by Frida Kahlo and Man Ray.
But Madonna wanted more than financial success, and a chance meeting would lead to Madonna's biggest reinvention yet.
There was no woman on the planet with more fame and money than Madonna, yet she still wanted to find love.
But the love Madonna wanted to give would be overshadowed by a box office bomb and an international uproar over an adoption.
Even those that supported her hardcore fans, were incredulous. They saw it as a publicity stunt.
It was a complete and utter PR disaster.
By the late 1990s, Madonna was the undisputed queen of pop, the doyenne of reinvention. She had blossomed from straight-A student in a strict household, to dancer, to starving artist, to pop superstar. She kept pushing the boundaries of pop, with catchy anthems, titillating videos and books, and groundbreaking concerts. In the process, earning hundreds of millions of dollars. But trouble was brewing that would threaten the star's fortune. Attorneys Danielle and Andy Mayoras unraveled the legal knot she found herself tangled in.
Madonna was a huge global pop star, an icon. She was the queen of reinvention. And time again, she would captivate the world with her talent and her style. Hit after hit with millions of fans all over the world, Madonna was an unstoppable force.
In 1995, Madonna, who was 37 at the time, went for a jog in Central Park and ended up meeting Cuban fitness trainer Carlos Leon. He then became her personal fitness trainer and shortly thereafter, her boyfriend.
When Madonna wants something, she goes after it, and Carlos Leon was no different.
While she pursued Leon, she was also pursuing the role of Evita, which she would eventually land.
Being Madonna's boyfriend couldn't have been easy. There was no woman on the planet with more fame and money than Madonna, yet she still wanted to find love.
After a year together in the spring of 1996, while filming the movie Evita, Madonna learned she was pregnant. She had dreamed of being a mother and was overjoyed. That fall, they welcomed a daughter, Lourdes, affectionately called Lola.
Once she'd had the baby, her relationship with Leon wasn't long for this world.
Evita was a huge success, earning Madonna a Golden Globe. But soon after, her relationship with Carlos Leon fell apart. They split when Lourdes was only 7 months old, after 2 years of being together.
Because they weren't married, Madonna wasn't legally obligated to pay him anything. But reportedly, there was a financial settlement made, and the two walked away on good terms and continued to parent their daughter together.
After the birth of her daughter Lourdes, Madonna sought spiritual enlightenment through the Jewish mystical practice of Kabbalah and Ashtanga Yoga. This newfound spirituality was reflected in her 7th studio album, Ray of Light, released in 1998. It earned rave reviews and brought in $22 million.
Critics described Ray of Light as groundbreaking in the way it combined underground and mainstream dance music. It won Madonna her first Grammy for an album and 5 more MTV Video Music Awards to add to her collection.
At the VMAs, Madonna's newfound spirituality was on full display.
I'm constantly looking for new sort of cultures and ideas to inform what I do.
Madonna said she was no longer interested in being the provocateur.
I'm more interested in inspiring people than shocking people.
In 1998, while riding high off the success of Ray of Light, and 2 years after breaking up with Leon, Madonna was invited to a party hosted by Sting and his wife, Trudy Styler.
While at the party, Madonna met Guy Ritchie, an up-and-coming British film director.
10 years younger than Madonna, Guy Ritchie was affable, but also had an edgy side. Madonna was instantly smitten, and the two began dating.
So they get together, and kind of like all of her relationships, things start off incredibly gloriously. They are madly in love with each other.
After dating less than a year, Madonna became pregnant. And on August 11, 2000, just days shy of her 42nd birthday, she gave birth to a baby boy, Rocco.
4 months later, baby Rocco was baptized at a cathedral in Scotland. Media from around the world attended the baptism, as well as Madonna and Guy's lavish wedding the very next day.
Their ceremony and reception cost £1.5 million and took place at Skibo Castle in England.
Just like her first wedding to Sean Penn in 1985, Madonna's second wedding was a star-studded event. But unlike her first marriage, Madonna did not sign a prenup with Guy Ritchie.
It's unbelievable that the 42-year-old multimillionaire and icon did not have a prenuptial agreement. Ritchie was 10 years younger, had significantly less assets, and even less income potential than her.
Madonna had already brought in hundreds of millions of dollars for her albums and tours, while Ritchie's directing career was just beginning.
It is beyond belief that Madonna would get married again without getting a prenuptial agreement, considering how much fame and wealth she had amassed at that point in her career, especially considering she was marrying somebody who did not have her level of assets or anywhere close, and the prenuptial agreement she had with Sean Penn had worked out so well in her favor.
The Ritchie family settled into the English countryside at Ashcombe House, located on a 1,200-acre estate, reportedly purchased for £9 million. Madonna embraced all things British and life with Guy in the countryside, while Guy joined Madonna in her study of Kabbalah. They also teamed up professionally and made a film together, the 2002 romantic comedy Swept Away, which he directed.
Just like Shanghai Surprise with her ex, Sean Penn, Swept Away was a complete disaster. The film was a flop, both critically and commercially. And later, Guy Ritchie described the whole experience as painful.
Swept Away's disaster was followed with more pressure the next year, when Madonna embarked on a world tour, which set yet another record for the pop icon.
In 2004, Madonna's Reinvention tour in support of her American Life album became the top-grossing tour that year for a solo artist, raking in $125 million. Madonna would hold on to that title for the next 12 years, only being briefly unseated by Bruce Springsteen.
In 2005, Madonna took a break to spend time with Guy and her family, but things took a turn when she took a tumble.
It was Madonna's 47th birthday, and her family was celebrating at their 1,200-acre estate in England. She was with her husband, Guy Ritchie, and her 2 children, Lourdes and Rocco.
Madonna was thrown from her horse and ended up with severe injuries.
I broke my collarbone. I broke my scapula in 2 places. I broke 4 ribs, and I broke my left knuckle.
It was during the recovery from her riding accident that Madonna found another way to reinvent herself.
Madonna used this time to research international issues, which set the stage for her to become the global activist she is today.
The idea of responsibility, of being responsible for your actions and your words, and being responsible for the rest of humanity is a big part of what I think is important right now.
Madonna researched the southern African country of Malawi. Decimated by the AIDS epidemic, there were more than 1 million orphans in the country.
In 2006, Madonna visited Malawi, and she was extremely moved by what she saw. Orphan children, extreme poverty, mothers dying of AIDS, and little or no health care at all. Madonna really wanted to help out with the orphans.
Madonna founded the charity Raising Malawi and pledged to raise millions of dollars to provide healthcare, education, and community support. She also started working on a documentary about the plight of Malawi's orphans.
It was during the research phase of this project that Madonna came across pictures of a baby, David Banda. She said she was immediately drawn to the child.
In October 2006, Madonna returned to Malawi, this time with Guy Ritchie. They visited orphanages, including the one where 13-month-old David Banda had been living since he was 2 weeks old, after his mother died following childbirth.
His father couldn't care for him, so he placed him in an orphanage. And this was a very common practice in Malawi. When parents couldn't take care of their children, they would put them in an orphanage and then take them back when they could care for them, if ever.
In just a matter of days, Madonna had secured formal consent from Banda's father and an interim order from the High Court, which allowed the Ritchies to take the baby home.
International adoptions are usually much more complicated, drawn out, and expensive. Also, many of the rules regarding adoption can be unclear and vary depending on the country where the child is located.
But the rules seem to bend for the international superstar and her husband.
In Malawi, the law says there's an 18-month residency rule for foreign nationals to adopt. This is to prevent child trafficking, but in Madonna's case, the court waived that waiting period.
By waiving the residency rule, they gave Madonna interim custody for 18 months until welfare officials could make a recommendation, and a final determination was issued on the adoption.
While Madonna worked out the legalities, word quickly got out about her adoption plans, and the press had a field day.
International children's groups were outraged. They were furious that Madonna had bypassed the residency rules and gotten interim adoption.
Nevertheless, on October 13, 2006, 9 days after arriving in Malawi, Madonna and her husband prepared to fly baby David to his new home in London. But there was one thing Madonna forgot. By the early 2000s, Madonna was worth more than $300 million and had an impressive collection of assets, including a large Manhattan apartment and multi-million-dollar mansions. Assets that would be fought over in the legal battles to come. In 2006, after 6 years of marriage, Madonna and Guy Ritchie were looking to add to their family by adopting baby David Banda in Malawi. And after an already drawn-out legal battle, Madonna was just about to cross the finish line.
As Madonna attempted to leave Malawi in her private jet with David, she was refused permission to take off. She had made a crucial mistake and failed to apply for a passport for the child.
Baby David was issued a passport a few days later, on October 16, 2006, and was flown to his new home in London. But the media backlash was fierce, with Madonna being accused of using her celebrity and charity work to fast-track the adoption.
Madonna has always been keenly aware of her image and of the public relations value of her name and her brand.
Local children's rights groups challenging the adoption said the Malawian court had based their decision on Madonna's wealth. Madonna addressed the criticism head-on. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Madonna strongly denied anything improper, saying, It doesn't matter who you are or how much money you have. Nothing goes fast in Africa.
Nothing may go fast in Africa, but Madonna's fame and influence sure seem to push things along.
Whatever Madonna did to get David Banda home worked, and her contributions to Malawi's orphans may have greased the wheels. With David Banda in his new home in England, Madonna and Guy got back to business. Guy developed new film projects, and Madonna expanded her media empire by striking another massive deal.
Madonna dumped her longtime affiliation with Time Warner and signed a 10-year contract with Live Nation for $120 million, lining her pockets with millions of dollars more.
In making the deal, Madonna was once again a trailblazer.
The deal was unprecedented. It gave Madonna both cash and stock, and in exchange, Live Nation got the right to distribute 3 albums, promote concert tours, and sell merchandise.
I mean, when we talk about wealth, it's hard to even quantify the wealth and power that Madonna wields on this planet. It's pretty impressive.
That same year, Madonna also got heavily involved in her charity work, performing as one of the headline acts in Al Gore's Live Earth concert, while also working to release the documentary she'd been making with her charity, Raising Malawi.
Madonna released the documentary she'd been working on the year before about the orphans of Malawi. I Am Because We Are was released at the Cannes Film Festival to rave reviews.
The Ritchies also expanded their property holdings, with the purchase of a 10-bedroom townhouse in one of London's poshest neighborhoods in 2007 and a pub called the Punch Bowl in 2008.
Madonna and Ritchie shared a multi-million-dollar portfolio that included 8 different properties featuring their country estate Ashcombe House.
In 2008, Madonna turned 50 years old, and after 26 years in the business, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At the ceremony, Justin Timberlake presented the award. There was also good news from Malawi about the Ritchies' adopted child, David Banda.
A court formally confirmed the adoption in May of 2008. It had been roughly 2 years since Madonna took David home with her.
But the veneer of happiness couldn't disguise the cracks that were forming, and it was only a matter of time before issues in their marriage could not be ignored.
It's not too long before we know that all is not well in a marriage with Madonna again.
After 7.5 years, Madonna and Ritchie were living separate lives, and there were rumors of infidelity.
Madonna's megastar lifestyle and charity work took a toll.
According to friends of Ritchie's, Madonna created a lot of stress with their marriage with her lifestyle that was centered around her rigorous diet, religion, and an infatuation with yoga.
There are times when you're dealing with someone of such power and stature that Madonna has had in her career that you find yourself in their orbit and there's nothing you can do.
Then came reports of Madonna allegedly cheating on Guy.
In July, rumors were flying that Madonna was having an affair with New York Yankees star Alex Rodriguez. She denied it, and both she and Guy said their marriage was just fine.
Madonna and Guy put on a united front in September 2008, appearing together on the red carpet at the premiere of Ritchie's new film, Rock and Rolla. But then, just a month later, came word that after 8 years of marriage, Madonna and Guy were divorcing.
Ultimately, Ritchie filed for divorce. It was believed that the divorce centered around the grueling process of the adoption and the busy nature of their careers.
They didn't have a prenup, so without question, any divorce proceeding between Madonna and Ritchie was going to be expensive.
Some of the allegations about the reasons for the divorce got nasty.
British tabloids reported that Madonna's half-day workouts left her too tired for sex, resulting in an 18-month dry spell. Tabloids also reported that Ritchie told her that she looked like a granny.
Madonna would later say her freedom played into the divorce.
Madonna later stated that there were times she felt incarcerated being with Ritchie, saying that she didn't feel like she could truly be herself.
Madonna would get her freedom, but at what cost?
She's making his millions look like pennies. I mean, she's amassed hundreds of millions of dollars at this point.
By 2008, Madonna and Ritchie were said to be worth $521 million. Certainly most of that wealth was brought into the marriage by Madonna.
And without a prenup, Guy could be awarded some of her millions.
For Madonna, it may have been better to throw some money at Ritchie instead of having protracted settlement negotiations. I mean, after all, she had the money.
Madonna was about to face one of the most expensive divorce settlements in history.
Generally, the lower earning spouse is treated more favorably in the UK than in most US states. And Ritchie really scored a nice payday here.
In 2008, Madonna, a global pop icon, was worth more than $400 million. But an impending divorce from Guy Ritchie, whom she had married without a prenuptial agreement, threatened a fortune fight that could put the star at risk of losing her millions. Legal experts Andy and Danielle Mayoras have the details of how it all went down.
It is dependent on how much income was earned during the years of their marriage. Without a prenup, any earnings that came into the marriage during that time period would be taken into account in the division of their assets.
From their wedding in December of 2000, the marriage lasted about 8 years. During that time period, Madonna went on 2 different world tours, released 3 albums, and Ritchie made 4 movies. Of course, any other deals that either of them made during that marriage would be factored into their assets.
Madonna's team initially came in with a relatively low-ball offer of $15 million, plus the country estate worth about $12 million.
But Ritchie, who was already worth $45 million on his own, wanted more.
For Madonna, it may have been better to throw some money at Ritchie instead of having protracted settlement negotiations. I mean, after all, she had the money.
They were able to come to an agreement in just a couple of months, and their split ended up being one of the most expensive celebrity divorces in memory.
Ritchie would end up receiving 50 to 60 million pounds, which is roughly $92 million.
The $92 million included Ashcombe House, a $7 million townhouse in London, and the couple's pub, the Punch Bowl. Ritchie really scored a nice payday here.
It's important to note that while Ritchie received just over $90 million from Madonna, she was making more than enough to recoup that loss shortly after her divorce.
But there was still the matter of custody to hammer out.
Well, you brought your children for the adventure.
Yes.
Madonna already had full custody of her daughter Lourdes because she was from her prior relationship, but Madonna wanted to move back to New York. There was one problem though. They still had to sort out custody of the couple's 2 sons, 8-year-old Rocco and 3-year-old David.
The couple settled on a compromise for their 2 sons, Rocco and David, which meant that the children would have to travel between London and New York.
Following her divorce, Madonna turned her focus to another adoption. A second child in Malawi had caught her attention soon after she met little David, a girl named Mercy James. But just like with her first adoption, Madonna would wade into a legal quagmire.
In 2009, Madonna wanted to adopt Mercy, but the baby's relatives wouldn't consent. The adoption of David had already been a difficult ordeal, and the process for this adoption was worse.
Madonna's dream of adopting a sibling for David Banda would hit another major roadblock when her recent divorce came back to haunt her.
The divorce, while devastating in its own right, also created an issue for Madonna's adoption.
And Malawi, which is a very religious country, the laws and rules of Christianity seamlessly work into every decision politically that's made in that country, including the adoption process.
The judge deemed Madonna to be an unfit parent because she was considered to be an unmarried woman and said that the girl was better off in an orphanage.
Madonna said she firmly believed that she could give Mercy, who she met in 2006, the kind of love and care that she just wouldn't be able to get in an orphanage.
There was also the 18-month residency rule for foreigners.
The 18-month residency rule in Malawi requires someone to live there for 18 months before they adopt a child, and this is specifically put in place to avoid child trafficking.
The court had waived that requirement when she adopted her son David, but a lower court was insisting on it this time around. Relatives of Mercy James had already refused to grant consent, and some child welfare organizations claimed Madonna was throwing around her wealth to get what she wanted. Madonna spent a lot of time in the country, and in the 3 years since founding Raising Malawi, Madonna and her charity raised millions of dollars to fund orphanages and provide mosquito nets, food, medical care, and education to impoverished children in the country. Opponents felt this was influencing the Malawian government's willingness to bend the rules.
But that didn't work in the court in Malawi. It rejected Madonna's petition to adopt the 4-year-old Mercy James. The judge expressed concern about the little girl being taken away from her home country and culture, and felt that she was getting good care and a good education at the orphanage.
The concerns about removing Mercy from her country and culture didn't stop Madonna.
Madonna would not take no for an answer. She hired a team of lawyers and took the case to the Supreme Court. Now this would be very expensive for most people to do, but this was Madonna we're talking about.
While the High Court of Malawi considered Madonna's appeal, controversy exploded. Welfare groups sharply criticized the high-profile star's lifestyle.
One of the Malawian welfare agencies said that they couldn't condone the whisking off of a child into the fairy tale Hollywood lifestyle.
Nevertheless, on June 12, 2009, after months of legal wrangling, Madonna got the news she was hoping to hear. Malawi's highest court overturned the lower court ruling and approved the adoption.
Mercy's grandmother had initially opposed the adoption, but after talking to other family members, she eventually agreed.
It's interesting to note that the High Court ruling took into consideration Madonna's long-term charity work. The justices noted that this showed a real commitment to helping disadvantaged children.
In waiving the residency requirement, the court said times have changed, and in this global world, a person can live in more than one place. Madonna had demonstrated that although her residence was elsewhere, through her charity work, she would continue spending time in Malawi, which satisfied the court.
The court ruled that Mercy could either stay in the orphanage and not have the love of family, or be adopted by Madonna where she would be assured of love. They specifically said, quote, "Every child has the right to love."
After the Malawi controversy died down, Madonna's focus was on her expanded family and getting back on tour. In 2009, her Sticky and Sweet tour in support of the album Hard Candy grossed more than $400 million. And her MDNA tour in 2012 made over $300 million. The Rebel Heart tour in 2015 was also a smash success.
In this millennium, Madonna tours have grossed over $1.2 billion, and the Rebel Heart tour was the one that helped her achieve that.
But Madonna's Rebel Heart tour caused headlines for other reasons, when her teenage son Rocco rebelled.
Fed up with the lifestyle that the tour brought, Rocco decided to leave on his own accord and head to London.
It opened an old rift with Madonna's ex, and turned ugly when she publicly called him out.
She said that she was looking for a husband and not a like the one she had previously married.
By 2015, Madonna had been through her share of legal battles and lost millions in the fight. Legal analysts Andy and Danielle Mayoras walk us through the star's highs and lows. A definite high came in 2016, when after more than 30 years in the music business, the 58-year-old pop queen reached yet another stunning milestone. Forbes magazine released its first ever list of the wealthiest female musicians, and Madonna topped the list with an estimated net worth of $560 million.
Madonna has always been a savvy businesswoman, and through the years, she's invested in various ventures. She has real estate holdings, fine art collections, and she even has a share in the streaming service Tidal. She hasn't forgotten to be generous. She's shared her millions of dollars with over 30 charities through the years.
Single-handedly, Madonna is the biggest female pop star that pop music has ever seen. I mean, she's ubiquitous around the world. She is Madonna.
Madonna attributed a big part of her success to her ability to control her own image and to work hard to stay on top. She's even referred to herself as a control freak.
Being a control freak might work when you're a pop star, but as a mom, that doesn't always fly. Madonna was on tour when a very public fight erupted with her ex, Guy Ritchie, over the custody of their 15-year-old son, Rocco. When she hit the road in 2015, Madonna took her kids along, including Rocco, but the grind of being on the road got old, and Rocco rebelled.
In December of 2015, a now 16-year-old Rocco was spending time with Madonna because of the split custody arrangement. Rocco was with his mother as she performed on the European leg of her Rebel Hearts tour. Fed up with the lifestyle that the tour brought, Rocco decided to leave on his own accord and head to London. He proceeded to spend Christmas with Ritchie and his new wife, Jackie.
The tabloids reported on shouting matches between Madonna and her son over her strict rules.
While it would probably sounds like a lot of glamour and fun for most people, imagine it from Rocco's perspective. He's grown up around this world, and he probably longed for the lifestyle of being able to live under one roof, go to school, hang out with his friends, and do teenager things. He wasn't allowed to do that, constantly going on tour with his mom.
The battle heated up. Although it was agreed that Rocco could stay with his dad through the holidays, he refused to go back to his mom's tour when it was over, saying he wanted to live with his dad permanently. Madonna took the matter to court.
Madonna appeared in a New York court hearing demanding that Rocco be returned to her under the terms of their custody arrangement.
Guy Ritchie also went to court in London.
When ex-spouses are living in different countries, it can become very complicated as to which court has jurisdiction.
In this case, the judge ruled that Madonna and Ritchie should settle their custody dispute in New York where the petition was filed. But the judge also said that Rocco could continue to live with his dad in England until that point in time.
Madonna was infuriated, reportedly telling friends she thought Guy was brainwashing Rocco against her. She publicly lashed out at Guy.
Madonna was performing in Nashville and called out Ritchie during the performance.
In describing her ex, Madonna used the C word.
She said that she was looking for a husband and not an expletive like the one that she had previously married.
I think it was a moment of indiscretion. I think if she had to do it over again, she probably would use a different term.
In March 2016, as the dispute dragged on, a judge dressed down both Madonna and Guy for not putting their son's interests first.
The judge said that they should have been worrying more about Rocco and not their own selfish agendas.
But that summer, Rocco turned 16 and everything changed.
The court ruled that because Rocco was 16 years old, he was free to choose where he wanted to stay.
It's not surprising that the judge would ask and defer to Rocco's opinion. Once a child is 16 years old, they're really not a child anymore.
It's really common for teenagers to be given input into which parent they live with, especially when they're over the age of 14.
Rocco decided to live with his dad, Guy Ritchie.
The woman who was so used to getting everything her way had the tides of battle turn against her when it came to Ritchie. He won the big divorce settlement and custody over their biological son. This had to be a huge blow to Madonna's ego.
It might have been a blow, but she rebounded, and in 2017, Madonna was back in Malawi for her charity work.
Madonna returned to Malawi once again to adopt 2 more girls, 4 years old, Stella and Esther.
Madonna once again came under fire for pursuing a high-profile adoption, but she persisted, and a month later the Malawi court gave its approval for the adoption.
Madonna confirmed the adoptions on Instagram, saying she was overjoyed the twins were now part of their family. It was a family affair in July 2017, when Madonna and her 4 adopted Malawian children were back in Africa.
They were there for the opening of the Mercy James Institute for Pediatric Surgery and Intensive Care, named after Madonna's adopted daughter, Mercy.
The hospital was built as part of Madonna's Raising Malawi initiative to help Malawi's children.
We are here to raise Malawi.
The state-of-the-art hospital, the only one of its kind in Malawi, was designed to be a training center for pediatric surgeons and to increase the availability of surgeries for children. More than a decade had passed since Madonna's first trip to Malawi, and it had been 8 years since Mercy's adoption.
It was met with such cynicism, when in fact Madonna is devoted to the children that she's adopted.
In 2018, the year Madonna turned 60, the Queen of Pop showed no signs of letting up. She reigned supreme at the Met Gala and went back to Malawi for the 1-year anniversary of the Mercy James Institute, this time with all 6 of her kids, including 21-year-old Lourdes and 17-year-old Rocco.
All the while, Madonna's wealth kept expanding. In 2018, Forbes estimated her net worth to be $590 million, and it named her to the list of America's most successful self-made women.
Madonna has always had this inner strength and belief in herself. It's enabled her to reinvent herself, it's enabled her to avoid the critics, and it's kept her fan base solid through decades.
That fortitude has enabled Madonna to weather tough legal battles and come out on top time and time again, legally, professionally, and by all accounts, personally. Even though she lost millions of dollars in her legal battles, her dedication, talent, and business savvy helped her rebound time and time again, leading her to a fortune of more than $500 million.
After all of her success and challenges, Madonna has said one of the most controversial things she's done is just to stick around and survive. She says you have to believe in yourself, and she's proven that every day.
Madonna really has been the queen of reinvention. I don't think that there's ever been anyone like Madonna in the past, and I don't think that we're going to see anyone truly like Madonna, such a groundbreaker in the future. She truly is one of a kind.